All right, everyone, welcome to Untap podcast number 11. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jonny Esports. I'm joined by JT. How you doing, my dude?
I'm doing great, Johnny. How are you?
Pretty darn good, and I'm excited for today's episode because it's Time Spiral Remastered Day. This is it started up today. It released today as we're recording this on the Friday that it's released, and I cracked most of my box, and I'm excited to talk about the fun stuff that's going on with that. So on the docket for today, we're going to play a classic game. It's not on other podcasts, and we're just going to copy it. It's just, we're playing Pack 1 Pick 1. And that's going to be fun because I saved one pack from my box of Time Spiral Remasters for us to play Pack 1 Pick 1 today. So we'll play that as a game. And then we're going to talk about some decks and some cool stuff. I actually have a deck I didn't build myself, but I just found it just scrolling through decks, and I want to talk about it because I think it's cool. And then finally, yeah, we'll just jam some Time Spiral Remastered and talk about that at the end of it, because there's no real Magic news right now from that I can think of that came out. So we're just gonna chat at the end and see what we thought about Time Spiral Remastered as it is released today. And I know you still have to grab your packs, but we'll talk about it too.
Well, and to confirm for folks, I'm sitting here looking at the pack Johnny's about to crack, and there's an empty box, a forlorn empty box sitting next to it.
Yeah, I'll talk about my pack cracking opening shenanigans. I'll also link
Absolutely.
a link to that for people to see, because I did it. If you want to watch it again, I did it live on stream, but we will get to that. But first, let's get to our crack a pack. And
now,
play some Pack 1 Pick 1.
Is the order normal in this pack, or is it one of
those
there's just ones?
No, it's normal. At the very end, there's no basic land. It is replaced with the Time Spiral Remastered card at the very, very end. So, but otherwise, it's normal. So we will go over that. So yeah, I am showing him the camera. This is the correct way for you, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. I'm showing it to him on camera, but I'll just bring up the cards for the stream for people. So in our common slot, we got Empty the Warrens. Pretty solid card.
That is pretty good.
It's a pretty good start. It creates 2/1/1 goblin creatures, and it has Storm, so cast lots of spells.
Oh god, Storm.
Go Storm. Reality Acid. Enchant permanent Vanishing 3. The aura enters the battlefield with 3 time counters on it at the beginning of your upkeep. Please remove a time counter from it. When last removed, sacrifice it. When this relieves the battlefield, enchanted permanent controller, sacrifice it. So a really slow removal spell. Probably not.
Wow, no kidding.
Bone Splitter Sliver. All sliver creatures get +2/+0. It's a 2/2. Strength in numbers. Until end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +X/+X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. So that is a win con if you're playing a bunch of tokens. We have Deadly Grub. It's got Vanishing 3. When it dies, if it had no time counters on it, create a 6/1 green insect creature token with Shroud. It itself is a 3/1/4/3.
6/1.
Yeah. So far, I don't know where you're at, but so far I'm like, none of these are Pack 1 Pick 1 worthy in the common slot so far. Anyway.
No.
Thallid Germinator. It's a 2/2 for 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thallid Germinator. Remove 3 spore counters from Thallid Germinator and create a 1/1 green sapperling token. Sacrifice sapperling. Target creature gets +1/+1 to end of turn. It's a wall of text. If I'm drafting, I probably don't even read half that text and go, nah. 3/3 for 2. That's too much. Here's a 5/5 for 6. That sounds terrible. It's got Suspend 5 if you pay 1. It's not a Pack 1 Pick 1 worthy.
What's it called?
Close. Duskwood Bailiff.
Oh, okay.
So not on that currently. Crookclaw Transmuter. Flash flying. When Crookclaw Transmuter enters the battlefield, switch target creature's power toughness to end turn. It is a 3/1 for 4. Oh, and there's my cat coming across the screen that everyone at home can't see, but
all I've got is a tail in the camera.
You got a tail? There you go. Get out of here, CC. We got Mana Tithe. Counter target spell unless the controller plays 1. It's the white counter spell.
Okay. All right. Now you're... I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's a counter spell. But yeah.
If I know I'm already in white, maybe I'm grabbing that because I'm like, yeah, this might be okay. But this is Pack 1 Pick 1. I'm probably not on there. This is close. Tendrils of Corruption. It's an instant for 4, 1 black. Tendrils of Corruption deals X damage to target creature, and you gain X life, where X is the number of swamps you control. That's
okay.
Out of the commons, that's getting me closer. So those are all the commons. So like I'm not really sold of any commons. Tendrils Corruption is the closest to me out of commons.
Yeah, and I mean, you're in theory in limited, you're always going to probably have 2 colors, so you're not going to have a huge amount of swamps, but you could still
Yeah.
you could still hit a creature for 3 or 4, maybe 5. So it's not bad.
Yeah, that's certainly plausible. Let's get to the uncommons though. Oh, there's a black spell. Sysis? However you pronounce that. 3 colors, 4 black for a sorcery. Destroy target creature. Its controller loses life equal to its power plus its toughness. Or you can suspend it for 5 if you pay 1 colorless, 1 black, or 1 generic, 1 black.
4 black symbols. Ooh.
So
he go really sweet with Gary.
Yeah. Well, sorcery. So if you were, but in general, if you're playing mono black, yeah, it's not a permanent.
Sorcery, yeah.
But honestly, I'm actually probably leaning towards that at this point, just because it's like, it's kind of a non-conditional removal spell if you pay hold done.
Such a slow.
It's slow.
Spell.
It's slow. It's not good. This pack ain't hot when we're talking limited so far, but we still got 2 more uncommons and a rare and a time shift card. We got Storm Entity next. It's a 1/1 haster for 2 mana. Storm Entity enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each other spellcaster's turn. So essentially like another Storm payoff.
And Johnny's cat enters the battlefield.
And my cat keeps entering the battlefield no matter what I do. I should have been recording the screen so at least people could have saw that. It would have been funny. But anyway, I didn't think that far ahead. Scribe Rage. Oh my god.
Okay, for everybody home, the cat just suddenly out of nowhere jumped and scattered about 4 of the cards and then bolted. Like, you know what? You're gonna make fun of me? Screw you. Here are your cards. I'm gone.
Pretty much. All right, our last uncommon, Scribe Ranger. It's another 1/1 for 2. But this one's got flash, flying, protection from blue. You can return a forest you control to its owner's hands. You untap target creature. Activate this ability only once each turn.
Not bad. Oh, I love the art. The artwork on it is sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah,
it's Rebecca Gay art. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's flash and flying. It's got a lot of good keywords on it, but it's like, is it pack 1 pick oneable? Is our rare pack 1 pick oneable? Moragonda Petroglyphs. It is 3 colors, 1 green. For an enchantment, creatures with no abilities get +2/+2.
That is so specific.
How many vanilla creatures are there in this format? I don't know. I don't feel like there's enough vanilla creatures for that to get any value. So that's kind of a stinker.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned this. You actually already mentioned this card earlier that I'm about to pull out. Our time shifted card. It's Gary.
Oh, there's Gary.
Yeah, Great Matron of Asphodel. When he enters the battlefield, you deal X damage. Sorry, each opponent loses X life. It's not dealing damage technically. And where X is your devotion to black, you gain life equal to the life lost this way. So Gary's a solid card.
I would probably go Gary.
You're probably going Gary. I might go.
Maybe the removal and the Scribe Ranger. The fairy, the flash flying for 1/1 for 2.
I know if it was like even a 2/1, I would actually have sided a little more towards it.
Okay, no, I'm either going the black removal spell, the common,
probably tendrils,
or Gary.
I'm in the exact same spot, man. Between the two, I feel like tendrils, you'll more likely use it if you end up playing multicolor rather. Gary, you're only going to use playing in mono if you decide to stay mono black. And since this is your first pack, I think tendrils keeps you more open.
Yes.
So I believe I would probably draft Tendrils of Corruption in this one.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough pack.
Yeah, a bit of a rough pack. I had a lot of really cool packs. We'll get into that later, but this one was a stinker. We'll give it that much. Gary's cool though. Look at this Gary. He's so nice.
Gary's sweet. and so they're putting 1 time shifted in each pack.
Yeah. It takes up basically like the basic land slot. There's a time shifted card there. All right, so you still get 10 commons, unless there's a foil, but you get 10 commons, 3 uncommons, rare, and a time shifted card. Yeah, every pack. These packs are fun, man.
Nice.
I've been opening them. They've been great, and I've enjoyed that. But that was that's our Pack 1 Pick 1. If you like us playing Pack 1 Pick 1, let us know. Of course, let us know what you would actually pick if you'd pick something different in the comments below, because maybe you're smarter than us. Maybe you're like, you're an idiot, this card over here is busted, and we just missed it. I don't know. But I think we're pretty smart at limited.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna give us any credit, like, yeah, we do lots of stupid stuff when it's constructed. I think you and me are actually very good limited players, because I think that's I think when we go there, that's the moment when you and me probably try hard more often than we try hard in constructed.
Yes.
I think we're actually good at that. I think we're actually good at this.
Yes,
so
we're limited tryhards.
We're limited tryhards. Yeah, but we just played. We played Jack, and I think I don't know if this is the same motivation for you. I think it's because I take all my draft chaff and then figure out what I'm gonna play out of it. I think that's where that was born out of.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the decks I make are based on what cards I can dig out of my several boxes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I just play a card in limited, and I'm like, this is awesome. I should try to make a real deck out of this. Yeah. And usually it's like, yeah, that card's just balanced well for limited. It's not actually a good constructed card. But every once in a while, you get there. That's where my love of Enigma Drake came from, right?
I have met very few people that love Enigma Drake quite like you.
It's my baby. It's my baby. All right, let's move on to some brewer talk. Actually, while we're at it, again, the deck I have today isn't actually something I brewed personally, but I will go into it. But let's go with you first, JT. What do you have for us today?
Okay, well, I'm going to bring up a couple things very briefly. I'm going to touch on Historic Artisan, because that's what we've been playing this week in the Jankyard League. If you're not familiar with Historic Artisan, it is a lot of fun. It is commons and uncommons only on Historic on Arena. There's a very short ban list. I think of about 6 cards. But yeah, so you don't have those rares or those mythics to deal with. Which takes out a lot of the board wipes, which is nice. So I went with good old trusty Bant Butts in Historic Artisan, which I'm not going to go into too much depth because I've gone into Butts earlier in other formats. But I will share the deck list. But, Tetsuko and High Alert and Watley are all legal in Artisan because they're all in common. So love this deck. Had a lot of fun with it. The other one I wanted to touch base on is an older deck that I've had kicking around. I don't know about you guys, but on Arena, I've got a lot of decks. I'm almost always pushing up on the maximum. And
I have to delete decks all the time.
yeah, exactly. And I'll get decks that slide to the bottom. And it's like, oh, I forgot about that deck. And so I wanted those decks, and I pulled it out playing Historic yesterday and today, and I forgot how much I love it. And I made just one little tweak. It is what I call March of the Reef, and it is a Risen Reef, Omnath Locus of the Royal, the 3-color Omnath, and Mirror March deck.
Nice.
So, and you've got tons of elementals, so you're just trying to trigger Risen Reef multiple times. You've got Spark Double, and of course Mirror March then makes multiple creatures. The extra little fun I added to the deck based on Kaladesh Remastered was I added 3 Panharmonicons just because, why trigger Risen Reef once when we can trigger it twice? So this deck is just silly. It doesn't always work. I decked myself the other night.
Nice.
But God, I love it. I love playing this deck.
Dude. Yeah. That's awesome. That sounds like a just like a blast. Just like a
exactly.
dumb, like I could just like kind of picture you play that like deck in real life and just going like, are you doing this? Is this
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's fantastic.
It should be one of those ones where I bring a coloring book for my opponent.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah, for sure. That deck description for the whole deck. Feel free to check out the description for the link for that. Make sure JT sends that to me so I can post it in the description. And for the deck I want to talk about, actually, before I get to that, just because you mentioned Historic Artisan, I didn't have a Historic Artisan deck that I want to mention today because basically 2 podcasts ago, I mentioned the Blue-Black Rogues deck. that was like basically if you just stripped away Thoughtseize and the Luris, that became a Historic Artisan deck, and that's just what I'm playing in Historic Artisan this week. And it's worked out pretty good. I had my first match, I lost, but it was a very good match. So you take that, right, when you're just playing whatever. But again, Is It Drakes works super great in Historic Artisan if you're looking for a deck for that too. I've also already talked about that deck in this podcast before, so I won't get into it. But the deck I want to talk about today, and again, it's not a deck I created. I was just kind of going through modern decks on mtggoldfish.com, non-sponsor. But I was just going through because every once in a while, just, sometimes you get ideas going through decks like this. And I found a deck that now I just want to build and see what happens here. So it's technically a Jeskai deck, but it has one white card and realistically just white cards in the sideboard. That's the Fairy Time Raveler as it's one white card in the main deck. But basically, the first thing that caught my eye in this deck, Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, is in here. And that card is never played fairly. So I wanted to figure out why it's in here. What craziness to pull this out. But just in case you don't know what Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn is, it's a 15/15 for 15. But it doesn't end there. It cannot be countered. When you cast it, you take an extra turn after this one. It has flying, protection from colored spells, and Annihilator 6. When it is put into the graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. So anyway, you win the game when you play the card. That's pretty much what it actually says on it. So this deck is basically a Izzet control deck, or I guess Jeskai control deck. Again, it has Teferi Time Raveler in it. So you're going to scroll down the case. So how does this play this card? How does this play this card? And then I notice there's Cloud Form in here. What does Cloud Form do? It's an enchantment for 2 blue and 1 colorless. When Cloud Form enters the battlefield, it becomes an aura with enchant creature. Manifest the top of your library and attach Cloud Form to it. So to manifest, you put a card from the top of your onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature. Turn it up face up at any time for its cost if it's a creature card. So that enchanted creature then will have flying hexproof. So essentially, it makes a 2/2 flying hexproof creature. And you're still going, that doesn't tell me anything about how Emrakul gets played. But wait, folks, it gets better. Because so far, none of that made any sense.
Yeah,
but
just like, where are we going with this?
New, relatively new, from M21, Transmogrify is in this deck. And what Transmogrify does, it's a 3 generic, 1 red for a sorcery. You exile target creature. And you're not using this as removal. That's silly. Wait till I get there. That creature's controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. That player puts that card onto the battlefield, then shuffles the rest into their library. So, because Emrakul the Aeon's Torn is the only actual creature in your deck, Cloud Form is an enchantment. What you actually do is you play Cloud Form to put it down, you exile your own creature with Transmogrify, and then you find your Emrakul because that's your only creature in your deck. This deck's amazing.
I love that.
Big credit to, I don't know if they're the original creator of this deck or what, but they're the earliest I could see that on MTG Goldfish to Tito Wee on for maybe coming up with this deck, but other people have had 4-0 and 5-0 finishes in modern leagues since then.
Ridiculous.
This deck is so cool. Again, the rest of it's just control stuff. So it's got like remans and mana leaks, blah blah blah, whatever. Control stuff. But this combo, this Cloud Form Transmogrify combo into Emrakul is so cool to me, and I'm just like, I want to play this. I want to play Modern.
I'm impressed that it's been putting up 4-1 and 5-0.
Yeah, not often. There's only like 2 results where it did that. So
okay,
let's not go and suddenly think this is breaking Modern or anything, but it is very cool. It is. You had to click on the view more to get to it. It's like there's only 3 like top finishes with this deck in the past however long MTG Goldfish does go back 30 days. So it's like it's maybe not great, but it's a cool finisher for like this Izzet/Jeskai control deck if you're looking for that. Because I was thinking about creating the Kiki Jiki combo with an Izzet control deck for Modern. Like that was one way to go, but this is a pretty fun way to go too, and this might be it.
This is nutty.
Yeah,
I
that's
love it. You make a creature without a creature card. So the only creature you can find is Emrakul.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a few like other ways you could do this too. Like Cloud Form is a cheap card, so that is a great way to do it. And the creature is hexproof, which is just notable because now your opponent can't get rid of it. Because obviously there's artifacts that create a creature that will equip that, but they could just remove the creature, then you're messed up. Cloud Form specifically making that creature hexproof is very, very important because they see your control deck, are they gonna keep their sweepers in? That like it doesn't seem like something people would probably do. So they just gotta hope to basically not let you actually transmogrify is what the game plan probably is for them.
This is wild.
Yeah, it looks fun. So that's the deck I want to talk about. Again, not my creation, but I just saw it and I thought I had to talk about the podcast, and I thought it'd be pretty cool. And I want to see what people think about that. I will link that deck in the description as well. So let me know what you think about that deck, or of course of JT's deck, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that was that. I guess that wraps up our brewer talk for the week. Again, not an original deck, but still fun. Every once in a while, I think that's fine for it's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'm just gonna because I do that. I do just scroll through decks just to see stuff, and maybe no one saw that because it is pretty far down the list, and hopefully bring some eyes to it because it's pretty cool. And maybe there's some tuning that actually make that deck legit. It might exist. I don't know.
Well, and I mean, I've certainly played decks that I've kind of made my own after seeing versions of them online on lists. The one I can think of is when I started playing Approach of the Second Sun, but in a Boros approach, trying to use Sunbird's Invocation. That was, I think, it was a top 10 deck at the U.S. Nationals. And everybody's like, look at this deck. It's crazy. I went, oh, I'm playing this deck. And made it my own. So, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you're going to find other people have wild ideas, and they're great to use as your as a deck. It's a beautiful, and this deck you just brought up is nuts.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's nuts, and it's not even that complicated. It's essentially a 2-card combo, and then it finds the other card, so you don't even have to have Emrakul in your hand or anything. In fact, you don't want Emrakul to be in your hand. So nope. Yeah, it's a 2-card combo.
Just win the game. The Cloud Form and the Transmogrify.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Okay, that's that. Last thing we want to talk about today. Again, there's no real news going on in the Magic world at this exact point, unless you want to talk about Magic Legends, but whatever. Magic the Gathering's Time Spiral Remastered comes out today, and I cracked my box. Again, I'll also put a link in the description to the VOD of me cracking my box there. It also has a bunch of my cats interrupting me doing that, so you can see that there. But man, the value in this set is kind of through the roof. Just reading other articles about it, you're gonna get anywhere from 2 times to 3 times the value of cracking your box at current pricing. Things are probably gonna drop, but even if that settles down, that's still pretty darn good if you grab that. And I know my box, I've made some nice things from here. Highlight reel of what I've opened: Laboratory Maniac in foil. That's an $80 USD card there. I got Kiki Jiki here. When it comes to some more time shifted cards, I packed in Negation. That's just in the regular set. I'm just like going to my side here and looking at cards that are right here. Abrupt Decay is pretty darn good. Bloodbraid Elf's pretty darn good. Chroma's Memorial. I just kept opening cards, and I felt like I didn't have a lot of really bad packs. Maybe the worst pack I opened was the one we played Pack 1 Pick 1 with.
Yes, probably.
but
although I don't think you mentioned the sweetest card of all.
Arcades
the Strategist.
I open Arcades hopefully I open a second one for my boy here, JT, because I actually the stream convinced me to just go order a second box because I just kept opening value after value, and I was like, halfway through the box, I was like, I'm pretty sure at half of my box I've already made up the value of the box, and I haven't sat here and done the actual math, but that is probably true. And again, I'm kind of only doing it because I happen to have enough credit at an LGS to be able to do that from just previous trade-ins and stuff and other things. So I probably wouldn't spend my actual money on it because it's expensive, but I'm trying to create a cube, and that's the only specific reason why I want to open another box, because if I can get as many of the pieces of this for cheaper instead of buying the singles, because I want a whole set basically, it's kind of might be more efficient that way. But of course, as always with any of these things, just buy the singles you want. If you only want a few cards, don't chase for something. Just buy the singles. But in this case, I think it's the correct thing to do is to buy another box because the value proposition seems to be there.
Well, and it's probably best if you're gonna, crack your box, sell the stuff pretty quickly because they will.
Yeah.
As always, it goes down a bit. But that being said, there is a ton of sweet cards in this set, and if you pull
Yeah.
something like a foil Lab Man, that
Yeah.
thing's gonna hold
That one,
value.
that one, I'm probably gonna keep around for a little bit. Let that value go up a little bit, and then maybe move that eventually. Because I also opened a regular Lab Man, so I don't even need this foil for my my cube. I could just use a regular one and then move that foil Lab Man. So that was pretty lucky, and it's pretty great. And so the other thing, other part of this too, JT, you're grabbing 6 packs later because I believe you're going to take part in the event there.
Yes, and this will when this comes out, it'll already have happened. But yeah, on the Friday night, my plan was to play either the Channel Fireball or the WotC event on using Spell Table.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was my plan was to stream that cracking packs because I love cracking packs.
Yeah.
I just vicariously watching you crack pack, it was like it felt good. It felt
right. It's addicting, and I've mentioned recently where I was just like, I'm not really a crack a pack person, but opening this box just felt like that hit a lot of endorphins, man. And I'm like, this is why people do this. This is addicting. And then I ordered another box. So
just, no, I think it's awesome. Hopefully, I'll find some good stuff in mine. If I could find Arcades, that'd be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw somebody selling one for a foil one for I think it was like $60 Canadian. So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay,
Well, the interesting thing, like, yeah, sure. There's a what's it called? A time shifted card in every pack, which is like really cool, and it's not as rare as like Invocations. But the rarity of getting a time shifted foil is closer to the rarity of like an Invocation or something. So those go through the roof. Again, if we look at my Lab Maniac, that it's a $5 card. It's a good card. It's a commander staple and all that. But like the foil timeshift version of that gets really high up there in value because that's actually going to be pretty rare to get. So I feel pretty lucky getting that one. I don't expect to get that lucky again on my second box. But if I honestly, like I said, as long as I at least cover the value of that box, again, I'm paying with a store credit that I would have been using to buy the singles anyway. I'll be pretty happy with that. And then again, trade it all down to get hopefully the rest of what I need for the cube. The only looming thing over this is that it's just this limited run. Credit to WotC because it made me go order a second box instead of just grabbing all the singles. Because it. There's a bit of FOMO that I won't be able to get. You won't be able to get another one of this, and it sucks that it's working.
Yep. Well, that's part of what's happening is creating that fear of missing out, and yeah, it works. Yeah. Especially when you get so lucky, and you pull in a lot of value, and you're like, well, I wonder if I could hit this again.
Oh, I can do it again. Yeah, again. Even if I remove that Lab Maniac from the box I opened, I didn't do like crunch the numbers. Maybe I will by the time I edit it, so it'll be up on the screen. I'm not gonna hold myself to that. So if I'm not doing that, you're seeing me making up excuses on the screen. But I feel like just kind of casually going through cards like, oh yeah, this is $20. Oh yeah, this is $15. Just casually going through cards that I opened through. Well, I feel like I more than made up for the value of the box, even not including the Lab Maniac. The Lab Maniac was just kind of the jackpot hit that set it over the top. So it feels like that's right there, and a lot of people so far, like EV articles that are out there, are saying the same thing, that like, yeah, if you can get it, the value is there for the prices right now. Again, things will go down a little bit, but then as these reprint sets, because they're limited, they just go right back up. So they'll be cheaper right now. So again, I do highly recommend, if you just like are looking for a few singles or whatever, you wanted your Kiki Jikis or something like that, I would just be like, yeah, grab those now, and because they're going to be cheaper now, and then but if you want to hang on to them for value, they'll go up eventually all over again, because that's the nature of these reprint sets. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of other news other than that, folks, for this week. So I think that's pretty much the end of the podcast, unless you have anything else you want to say, JT.
Yeah, I will give a quick shout out to friend of the show, One Medium Salt, aka Josh Dunville, who last Saturday he was in the CFB Pro Showdown event, which I was in as well. I went out in round 2. He went out in the final. So,
hey, I went out in round 0 because I didn't wake up in time.
Yes. Which is not the first time you've done that in a tournament.
But anyway.
Yeah, so we were just, he's part of the community here where Jonny and I are. And it's just exciting to see somebody we know do that well in a high-profile event like that. So we're really proud of him. Really happy to see him do well.
Mm-hmm. For sure, definitely, yeah. That was really exciting to see him get that far, to get to that final, and it was real exciting because it's just like it's a guy you know. And what's kind of cool too is that like we saw when he first started playing Magic, you and me. So it's almost like our little brother growing up and doing big things.
Much better than us now.
He's way better at this game than us now.
Well, it was interesting for me because I was watching the stream on Channel Fireball and they were behind, and I messaged him and like, "Oh, it looks like you're doing well." And he's like, "Yeah, it's over." What do you mean it's over? And then he was just being coy, like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, we'll watch and find out what happens.
Yeah, entertaining stuff for sure. So congrats to him. Congrats to, I believe he was like, I instantly spent my store credit when I got it. So like, but congrats to him for sure. A big shout out. And I know he watches the show too, so appreciate you also checking out our podcast here, my dude. And I'm gonna say we had something to do with your win. I'll go with that.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
All right,
Story
folks.
Checks out.
That's the end of the podcast for the day. It's a little bit of a different one. It didn't quite follow our normal formula, but it's a fun little change up. I hope people enjoyed that. Leave in comments below what you think of any of that. Again, your pack one, pick one, or any of the decks we talked about, or how you're feeling about Time Spiral Remastered. We'll get back next week. Maybe we'll talk more news. Maybe I'll actually make a deck. We'll see. We'll get to there when we get there. But JT, would you like to plug anything before we're out of here?
Just a reminder to check out our streams at twitch.tv/JankYardMTG and check our old streams on demand there on Twitch. And also, if you want to support what we're doing down at the Jankyard, you feel free to check us out at patreon.com/JankYardMTG.
Excellent. And last thing I will touch on is check out retouchmedia.com. It's basically my portfolio and such media company where I do stuff like make videos for podcasts like the one you're watching right now, as well as other ones. I'll actually just plug some of the other podcasts I work on. The Commander Cookout podcast, Commander Ad Populum. Those are other 2 podcasts that I worked out. So shout out to those guys. Check out their podcasts too. But basically, if you're interested in getting any sort of video editing done, whether it's for a podcast or for other things too, promotional work, anything like that, let me know. You can find all that information on retouchmedia.com. And that's it. That's where we'll end it today, folks. It was another fun one, JT. I always enjoy your company, my dude.
Likewise, sir. Take care and have a fun one, and good luck with the second box.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll be sure to update you and everyone on how that goes. All right. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.